I am Raquel Bennett, and I welcome you to Alumni Shining, where I present some of the best and brightest graduates from Medgar Evers College's School of Business. Tonight, I welcome Robert Tressler. Robert was born and raised in New York, but began his career in Chicago, Illinois, and he currently resides in Denver, Colorado. Robert graduated summa cum laude from Medgar Evers College in June of 2018 with a bachelor's in business administration. He began his career in finance shortly thereafter. Upon graduation, he accepted a position with Merrill Edge, where he got licensed in the securities industry. After some time there, he accepted a position with JP Morgan Securities and helped pioneer an effort to revamp the estate process for handling deceased accounts. Upon moving to Colorado in late 2019, Robert joined Robinhood Financial, where he primarily works with customers who have questions ranging from basic trading questions to complex margin and option inquiries in an effort to help educate customers about the world of investments. Additionally, he is the co-founder of the Cultural Alignments team, where that was founded to help keep culture of Robinhood alive, navigating through the remote work environment. And I'm sure we can all appreciate that. Are you ready,
I
Robert?
am, yes, I am.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you, at what moment did you decide that attending college was a good idea, and why did you choose Medgar?
Yeah, that's a great question. The moment I decided to attend college, or that it was the right decision for me, I was 24 years old. Not to give you like my age now, but I was 24 years old. After high school, I pursued a working career. I didn't go into college right afterwards.
Yes.
And I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And so it took a while, but what made me decide to go to college was I was working as a personal trainer, but I was also working as a physical therapist aide in a physical therapy office. So very different industry.
Very.
Yeah, but I thought when I was working in the physical therapy office, I was an aide, so I was able to work with the patients as they came in, and my background in personal training really helped with that. But I thought to myself, well, you know, this is a career that I'd like to pursue if I was going to college, because that is quite the investment.
Yes.
I wanted to know what I wanted to do, and it's funny where I ended up, but so that was the moment in, I don't know, toward just before I turned 25, where I said, okay, I think here's a career that I'd like to pursue. And to do so, I need to not only go to pursue my bachelor's degree, I'm going to have to pursue my doctorate in physical therapy afterwards, but it was going to be a college journey. But I said, this is worth it. And so then I started looking for colleges, and I didn't know much about college. Funny thing is, I was never a big academic in high school. I was never
But you
into it,
found
and
Medgar.
yeah, but Medgar really changed that for me. But when I was looking for colleges, I applied to a few, and I had heard that and I don't know if this is true or not, but I had heard that there was some sort of relationship between Medgar Evers College, their bachelor's of science program, and the SUNY downstate physical therapy program. I'd heard something like that around the office, and
Right.
so I wanted to apply there, because I mean, I knew about the program, SUNY
Right.
downstate, and I was like, oh, that's really good. So that then I put my application in Medgar Evers, and that was the big swaying point for me for choosing Medgar Evers. It just so happened that I lived right across the park in Park Slope. I guess Windsor Terrace was technically the neighborhood, so pretty easy for me to walk to the school every day. So it just worked, and then so that's what drove me to college. That was the point where I decided to attend. And that's why I chose Medgar Evers College. And I didn't finish with a doctorate in physical therapy.
No, you finished with
I
what
did switch.
what made you change your degree? And do you have any regrets moving from your dream of going into the physical therapy realm, occupational therapy, to business?
Yeah, I'll start off with I don't have any regrets with the
Good.
decision, and I'll tell you why. Because it's easy to get caught up in the what ifs, and I still think I really would have enjoyed physical therapy. I think I would have made a great physical therapist, and it never felt like work when I was at the office. So, um, but there were a number of driving factors behind my change in majors in studies. Primarily, it
Was it
was.
the time?
I'm sorry.
The amount of time it would take? Was that an issue? Because I
It
know that
was.
it's a lengthy degree, lengthy process.
Wasn't so much of the time, it was the narrowing of opportunities
Mm,
uh, as my relationship with my now wife progressed.
okay.
And so going into college, funny enough, I think I had ended a relationship in an effort to focus on myself. And a couple of days before I attended Medgar Evers, I had met my now wife, and her
Wow.
name is Kristen, and we just started hanging out and kept hanging out. We never stopped, and I knew that she was very different from any other relationship, and so I knew that was something special, and so I wanted to pursue that, and I had my career mindset on physical therapy program, so I started out
Okay.
in the biology major field of study.
Right. Let me ask
Um,
you, how did you balance, this new relationship and being a college student? What surprised you the most about what you had to do to maintain in college your academics as well as your personal life?
yeah. Well, I'll say I was fortunate enough that I didn't have to work when when I began attending school. My parents
Mhm.
really stepped in and
That's great.
made it. They really they were the springboard for me to be able to really go and attend college and give it a full commitment, because they floated my boat, so I could focus on school. And so to answer your question, when um, school was my job full time. I was a full time
Right.
student, and I think what was great about my relationship with Kristen is she was very well into her career. She was very goal oriented, big on school, and so she was very supportive of me
Right.
doing well and staying focused.
It sounds like you had a good support network while you were in school. And I know we have students who were watching, currently enrolled students who are here watching with us. What would you say was the biggest obstacle or obstacles that you faced? And what kind of support did you need or did you have to get through those obstacles, to overcome?
Uh, Related to school or maybe personal life or
Related to, I mean, it could be either or, but there's so many huge things going on in our lives at any given season, if you will. And I know that right now our students are facing being online students, many of them for the first
Mhm.
time, and regardless of what the obstacle or challenge may be, there's often certain kinds of support that we need to get through it so that we can complete our studies. We do want all of our students to graduate, of course, but
Mhm.
I think as someone who's gone through some things, someone who's come through Medgar, and has now moved on to your professional life, you can share some of the things that helped you um, move forward with your academics.
Yeah, I think some of the big I think the biggest obstacle I had a number of them, and one was how to navigate through my college career, and then trying to bridge that into my professional life with internships. That was a big struggle for me. It didn't never occur to me to look the importance of internships. That was a big
Right.
struggle. And so I big obstacle for me there is that I had to make that happen for myself. And so I actively sought out different opportunities, and one being the Thurgood Marshall College Fund Leadership Institute. I attended that 2 years in a row.
How was that?
It's fantastic. That's where I got my offer. That's where I got my job from Merrill Edge. That's where I got the offer from. And I sought that out. The second year I went as the ambassador, and it was great. I suggest, if anybody who's watching this, if you don't know about it, I don't know if Deborah Young still heads that up, but if you can
Deborah
always.
Young is retired.
Oh,
But
good
we
for
do
her.
have someone on that, Dr. Antoinette Roberson, who works with our students in getting them to participate in the Thurgood Marshall Fund. So we are promoting that to our student body as well.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. It's a great experience. It's a good bonding experience for the group that does get to go, but it's also good for your professional development, and getting exposure to different companies, getting your face in front of them, your resume there, and really your opportunity to shine for them and put your best foot forward.
What kind of help did you get from the Thurgood Marshall Fund? I know you said you got your job at Merrill from them, but what else would you say that was important to you that current students would find important if they were to apply and become accepted?
Yeah. Well, one, there are a number of workshops, so there's a lot to learn. I learned a lot about anything from how to save for retirement, how to operate a 401k and in the most efficient way, mainly starting young and contributing, but also financial literacy, negotiating contracts, offers. That was I did one of those. So there's a lot of workshops. I think the most exciting thing, there's a job fair at the end too. So
Right.
So as you prepare, so you get accepted, you prepare, and you get your resume is put out to all these companies, and companies will see that, and if they're interested, they will reach out to you beforehand and set up time to meet with you for different opportunities, mainly internships. This is a place to get your internships. So
wow, that's really good to know.
Yeah, and then once you do, I mean, like a good internship, I missed out on that, but not for any other reason than I was credentially overqualified for the internship that I applied for. But I think I was a junior the next summer. So, but anyway, back to the point is there's it is a fantastic bridge to go from, hey, I'm a sophomore, just start in college here. I think I know what I want to do, or I have an idea. I want a good internship. This is your opportunity. Apply
Right.
because you can get those internships.
So it seems that being a Medgar student, being a Medgar graduate has really, really worked out well for you. And that is wonderful for all of us to hear. After going through all that, right? How, and knowing that you're at a place that was inspired by the legacy of Medgar Evers, what about that experience inspired you throughout your time as a college student, and even after that, could be something that our current students might find helpful?
Well, for me, For me, I was given an exposure to a different culture, I suppose, attending Medgar Evers.
Hmm.
When I applied for Medgar Evers College, I didn't know it was his PBI, right? That
Yes, that's the
right, not
term.
HBCU, but PBI. But
Right,
um,
predominantly Black institution.
right, so I didn't know that. And I remember when I showed up for the first day, um, or maybe not even the first day, or some sort of setup meeting. Um, I walked in and then I noticed. I was like, okay, this. It was a bit of a culture shock, but not in a bad
Right.
way, but in a really for me it was a really cool way, because the first place I went to the library, and I just took a walk around, and I looked at all the art, and I looked at all the history and the culture that is on display in the library. And
Hmm.
I think at the time I had Instagram, and I remember taking a picture of one of the pieces and saying, I think, this is something along the lines of, this is the college I'm going to. This is really cool for me, because I'm going to get to learn about a lot of different cultures that maybe I otherwise wouldn't have. And so, like, tying that to, I suppose, Medgar Evers' um, life and legacy. Not that I want to pretend that I know a lot about his life and legacy, but I know
Hmm.
that he was a civil rights activist and worked a lot to end the segregation in many
Yes.
different parts. And for me, having attended Medgar Evers College, I thought that was really cool, because I was, I guess, in the minority this time, but I
Hmm.
felt very accepted. I made some great friends there. I learned a lot about different cultures,
Hmm.
um, and I think the educational piece also speaks to itself. Having, graduated from Medgar Evers College, and now in where I am in my career, I
Right.
think, I got a really good education there as well. And so, um, and I think what Medgar Evers stood for in his life, as I understand it, still pertains, still it's a big importance today as well.
Well, yes, Medgar Evers worked a lot with, so for example, voting rights, um, for Black people, African Americans, and voting rights are what we're talking about every day in the news. So there's always something that someone can look to see what someone else was doing in terms of voting rights, and getting people to the polls. You can see some of that work, or inspiration of some of that work today. But how does it feel to no longer be a college student? How does it feel to have gone through the 4 years, or a cumulative 4 years of study, and then get your diploma, and know that next semester you don't have to register for classes?
Yeah, it was. So I remember when I first graduated, that was that moment, that feeling. I was very excited, because I was like, oh, wow, I just accomplished this. Um, I don't have to register for classes next semester.
You can watch
Um,
Netflix and chill, as they say.
yeah. But I had a quick-ish transfer into the work life. And so now, I mean, now being a couple of years in, it's I have to remind myself, hey, at least you get paid. At least you get paid. But yeah, when I graduated, part of my obstacles, I was developing, cultivating this relationship with my now wife, and so I had a lot of decisions to make, which also, kind of narrowed down to my major choice and degree choice.
Hmm.
But right after college, I moved to Chicago. I had gotten married. And then I had started my career, and so there was a lot happening in a
Right,
short amount of
right.
time. So while I enjoyed not work, because I guess I did get the next semester off. I didn't really start my job until October of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But wow, almost 2 years ago, just a little over 2 years ago now. So I did have that semester off, I guess, where I could
Mm-hmm.
relax, and I do remember enjoying that a lot.
With all that's going on in the world, what gives you hope, makes you smile or laugh?
A lot of things. I mean, I guess that there's a lot that I'm thankful for. My family, my parents, my wife, my soon to be. I have a girl coming. She's a little baby.
Oh,
She's due in 2 months. So,
congratulations.
thank you. My own little, starting my own little family now, and there's a lot. We've got this. We were able to move out to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a place that we fell in love with geographically, and just made the decision to move. And so that's been nice. And you know I've got a great community, great church community out here too.
Mm-hmm.
That's been really good, and helped me stay connected and grow in my faith, which is really nice. And um, made a few friends out here. So
Mm-hmm.
it's these little things to be thankful for. To be thankful for that my wife and I both have a job. I found a job during COVID.
Right.
Um,
Well, besides becoming a new father, what's your next big goal and why?
well, the father is definitely an next big goal. I think I'll spread it. I'll personally being a father, and I think next big goal in a personal life is a house. We've been saving for a house, a first home purchase. Career wise,
Wonderful goal.
yeah, it's been a lot to work towards, but we're working toward it.
I just bought
Um,
a house not long ago, and it's been a renovation story that would take over your entire interview.
eh, well, congratulations.
I can
That's
say either if you buy 100-year-old house like I did, you'll either love it or you'll hate it. But
I'm gonna, yeah, I don't know. The houses are pretty well, they're a little expensive out here, but I think our research, they're mostly like, within 20, 30 years old. Um, so personally, that's my big goal. Career wise, uh, I'm just looking for, I've been focusing my efforts towards my next step at
Mhm,
Robinhood, and that's where I work now. And um, that is part of their quality assurance team. I've done a lot of vetting and interviews and research with some of the different teams for next step. Um,
mhm,
I really love helping people and educating people. So whether that's customers about the world of investments, or whether that's some of the new hires that come in, I work with
mhm.
them a lot with the training. Um, uh,
Now, I
that
read that Robinhood received some awards for being a small business or a newer startup company. How does it feel to be a part of that growth in a young company?
It's really exciting. I'll say, coming from a couple of established firms like JP
Mhm,
Morgan and
mhm,
Merrill Edge, uh, they pretty much have their processes and standards, and the structure. It is the way it is. The difference, and they were fine. I had a great time at both firms,
mhm.
but it's a little bit different with Robinhood, because it is experiencing a lot of growth, explosive growth, that I feel I've been able to feel like I've been a part of that growth and contributing factor in
Mhm.
developing those procedures, those processes, and those sets of structures. It's been a real fun experience to, I guess, like I said, just be a part of creating those.
Right, right.
As
You get a chance to use a lot of uh, your creativity in a place where it's very new or relatively new. They've been around for some time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. And then, because you have your primary responsibility, and I have that, but there's so many other projects and initiatives I've been able to um, either kind of help kick off the ground or be a part of, and really really just make a different impact, you know.
Mhm.
So it's been a really fun experience.
Now, how would you mentor someone who wants to follow in your footsteps?
Well, I'd say take school seriously. You know, uh, put put work into your work. If you're going to do it, do it. Do it well. Do it to the best of your ability.
Mhm.
And don't give up. I said I wasn't big in academics. Frankly, I don't really know how I graduated high school. I was not a good student. And then, yeah,
It's okay. Neither was I.
yeah, but here's the thing. It was like when I came to college, and when I came to the doors of Medgar Evers, I was ready to make a change. So
Mhm.
be ready to make a change for yourself, because I think at that point you're in the right mindset to focus on the work and to put your best foot forward, and seek out opportunities. If you're interested in something, go ask somebody, hey, how can this happen? That's how I happened upon the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. In my I think a student came and told me about it, and I put my name on a list, and then I just went and I sought out people. I sought out the business department, I'm pretty sure, and
Right.
said, hey, can I how do I do this? How do I continue in this? So ask. That's how I got my internship. Michael Beal, he sits on the board of Medgar Evers. I worked
Mhm.
with him on a little initiative that kind of faded out. He gave a group of us a shot. The rest of the group kind of fizzled out into what they wanted to do. But I was left, and I said, oh man, I don't want to stop working with this guy. I went to his office and asked him, hey, I don't want to stop working with you. And he said, I forget what the quote is, but the fortune favors the bold, I think is what he said. And he's like,
Mhm.
I'll give you a summer internship. And so I would say my footsteps have been don't, you know, be there mentally, be there, be present, put your best foot
Mhm.
forward. And if you want something, go and ask, go and seek it out. Um, because if you're looking for something, chances are you look hard enough, you'll find it. And
Right.
you know, so and then don't quit. Don't give up. It gets hard. I mean, especially as you get into the junior year, you know, you kind of feel like you've got some seniority, and you've been there for so long, um,
Mhm.
and I know
Mhm.
everybody has their own situations and it's tough, but don't quit, because it feels great when you finish, and you get that sense of accomplishment, and then it also sets you up for success. So, and seek out the Thurgood Marshall College Fund Leadership Institute.
Well, Robert, I want to thank you for taking some time out to talk to me about what it was like to be a student, and some of the things that you were doing after you graduated. And congratulations again on the family, the recent move to Denver, Colorado, and for being our first guest on Alumni Shining.
Yeah, well,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much for inviting me here.
You're
Yeah, this
welcome.
was
You're
a real
welcome.
pleasure.
We have our superstar, Dr. Roll. Dr.
No.
Roll is the dean of the School of Liberal Arts and the dean of the School of Business. I used to work in the School of Liberal Arts and Ed, but dean for the School of Business. She is the rock star in our school, and it was her great idea to come up with Alumni Shining. So I want to give some thanks to Dr. Roll for
Yeah.
being here and for starting this initiative. And Robert, again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I've got to admit, I was a little intimidated when I saw Dean Roll come on the screen. Still, I'm not in college anymore, but I was still a little intimidated.
No,
It was
no,
one of
no.
those times.
I,
I'm
I
nervous, I think was the right word. I was like,
I
oh boy,
want
I
to
better say the right thing.
I want to thank you. I enjoy just listening to you. You know, a couple
Yes.
of years out, you sound like a pro. Yeah, so I'm so pleased that you were willing to go forward and be the first, and continue
Yes.
to help those who are still at Medgar. As Raquel said, this is recorded and we will share so that others can hear. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
both.
you. Well, Robert, we're going to sign off from here. And again, thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. The sun has set over here in New York.